Morning folks, Rambler here. This morning I'm going to do a video about a relatively new stove I have, the MSR Windburner Duo. It's a 1.8 liter pot. And the other half of today's video is going to be about canister stove use in general in cold weather. Start off, I just want to show you how I carry the Windburner Duo. I use a Snow Peak titanium bowl. It nests kind of snug on the bottom. Don't use that all the time, but it does fit on there nice. You have the plastic cup that goes on the bottom of the wind burner. You have the lid. I have the coffee press, but I'm not going to be using that today. I already have some coffee made from, just got home from working overnight. So the coffee press kit fits in there. The press part fits in the bottom on the 1.8 liter. On the 1 liter, it's a little smaller and it'll actually go right on the ring. It snaps on there and then the cup goes over it. I'm just going to set that out of the way with the press handle out of the way. I have the Exotech Nano Spark I just got. I'm liking this. I just keep a ShamWow inside with my canister. So it's early morning. It is about 27 degrees according to the thermometer I have right over there. And this has been in my truck all night. So it's ambient temperature. Now, with canister stoves, for any canister stove that's not able to be inverted and go in liquid fuel mode, they all suffer at cold temperature. Even if it's a brand new canister, they only have at most about 20% propane, and they start to suffer pretty quickly. So, one nice thing about the Duo is this can fit right in the cup. Let's get everything set up here. So the Duo, it's a remote. The pressure regulator is right here. It's very well built. The legs, you just pull them, let go, and they snap right in. They store just like this. It's very sturdy. Let's put that right there so it'll be nice and visible. Let's close our valve and put this on. All right, snug. All right, so I've used this for, I don't know, about 2-3 weeks now. It works great. I love it. Awesome in the wind. Absolutely amazing. However, in cold weather, especially when your fuel canister is getting somewhat low, which this one is, this may be about a third left, maybe half, they start to suffer severely. So I see this trick talked about all the time, but very rarely do I actually see anyone show it. So I have a liter of water. This water is a little warmer. It just came out of my well, so it's not, near freezing. It's probably 50 degrees or so. I pour in just a little, I don't know, half cup, something like that. Because if you're waking up in the morning early on a trip, everything's cold. Your water's cold, your canister's cold, everything's cold. So this is kind of what I'm going to simulate here. This is the Nano Spark I'm going to use to light the stove. So you start out with just a little bit of water. You light your stove. It's going to light no matter what, but the flame's really going to suck. So we're going to heat up just a little bit of water. We're going to put it into the cup with our canister to greatly improve our performance, and we'll add the rest of our water. So let's go. Let's light her up. Nano Spark lights it up very well. Turn it up, get it burning. Let's put it on. The lid does snap on nice, and it's great for pouring. I don't like to snap it on when I'm boiling though, all the time, because it's kind of hard to get off once it's on there. So I like to just lay it on top so it's easy to take on and off to check the water. So I'm just going to let this heat up for a short period of time, and then we're going to transfer the water so that we get maximum performance. Now, important note, you don't want your water to be too hot. So right now we're starting to get little bubbles and steam. I'm just going to check it with my finger. I can probably go for a few more seconds. If you put water that's too hot onto your canister, you can either cause it to explode or you can cause liquid fuel to start shooting out of your jet, and it can cause some major problems. All right, I'm going to check it again. All right, it's warm. I'm going to add liquid to the bowl. You can see that was probably a little too warm, so I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. I'm actually going to add a little cold water now to the bowl because that was a little too warm. There we go. Now I'm going to add the rest of this water to the pot. We have, hard to see in the dark, just shy of a liter. About 30 ounces or so it looks like. I'm going to open this back up all the way. I'm going to put our lid back on. So now we have our stove running at optimal performance. We have it sitting in the water. Now one thing, obviously the canister is going to float a little bit. So if it's really cold, your canister is really low, you need to kind of weigh it down just a little bit so it stays, submerged as much as possible. So you get the water all around the edges. You can use any number of things to weigh it down. If I wasn't using my phone, I like laying my phone right on top of it. That's enough weight to keep it held down. The bowl by itself, obviously empty, doesn't work. But you can put water in it. You do that. A bag of tent stakes. If you have a mug or anything you're going to be drinking out of, any number of things, or you can just hold it down with your finger like this. Again, this is only needed when it's cold. And today I wouldn't call cold, it's only 27 degrees. But if you're trying to use your canister stove in the winter and it's 20 degrees, 15, 10, 0, to get maximum performance, you need your canister to stay somewhat warm. So you want the water to come as high up on the sides as possible so that can take place. I don't have a timer going because I'm not really doing this to check the time. But see, we're already getting nice steam. We have little bubbles forming. We're going to be at a boil in no time. So I don't know how well you can see it in the camera, but you can tell this canister isn't floating a whole lot. And part of that reason is it's not near empty. But when you start getting right near empty, this one's probably half or maybe a little less than half. Once you start getting down real close to empty, your canister is going to float up high. It'll be up, like this, bobbing around. And that's when you really kind of have to push it and hold it down to make a big difference. We're getting there. Today there's no wind, but I've done a lot of probably 20 boils over the last 2 weeks. It's been really chilly most days when I'm using it. It's been really windy as well. A lot of 15, 20 mile per hour days, 130 mile per hour day, and this thing just rocked on. I carry it with me in my truck every day when I go to work. Some days I'll use it just to make tea or coffee. Other days I'll heat up a soup or something in it. And I'll just do it right on the tailgate of my truck. And this thing really rocks. I think it's hard to see through all the steam. Oh, we're boiling. Go ahead and shut this off. Now this has very nice flame control. Let me pull the pot off. So let me just show you. This is full open, very hot, but also very quiet. It's another reason I like this stove. It doesn't have a lot of noise. I'm going to slowly dial it down. I have the skillet also. I got a good deal on it. So, but I haven't really played with it yet. I'm thinking it's going to be good. So I'm going to turn it down real low here. The lower it gets, the louder it gets. When it's right in the middle, it makes almost no noise. At full blast, just a little bit. So I'm slowly tweaking it down. See, that's getting pretty low right there. A little further. You get to a point where it'll actually shut off even though the valve isn't closed all the way. This is probably about as low as you can go, which is significantly lower than it was. And this, you could definitely simmer at this level right here. And then we kill it. That's the MSR Duo. I don't want to handle it too much, very sturdy. It's the same design as the Solo, except it's a larger pot. It's 1.8 liter versus 1 liter. And this is much lower than the one that goes on top of the canister. I like this because it's a lot more stable. I don't know, I just don't like the really tall cook systems. So when I saw this, it was on sale. I jumped on it, and I've been very satisfied. I think this is going to be one of my go-to stoves. The wind does not affect this thing at all. These legs are rock solid, nice and stable, low center of gravity. The hose is very flexible, easy to work with. Everything screws in nice, excellent flame control on the fuel valve. This thing works. Thanks for watching.